like Cisco from Drew Hill. MCs let that fly, now youths are tripping for high. They Lysol, cough syrup, and alcohol mixing. Bath salt sniffing, lighting themselves on fire. The game ain't in me no more like Cuddy, not on the wire. Y'all frontin' like Brother Muzon, getting whooped like Slim Charles. I saw demons behind Exec and A and our snarls, wanting me to compromise to optimize their train talk brainwash. Been rhyming out the box, won't see me without the locks. Heru Hawks, Moorish Ghostface, Killer Priest, walking with a swarm of bees. Here comes some borrowed scar, real MCs, bringing drama to you wannabes. No Smith and Wesson, on beats different lessons. It's truth, no discretion. We pulling energy from seven heavens. Audio mechanics leave an impression. Two Cushites carrying the rhyme covered in arc, no procession. Thunderclap, rap deafen, wake you out your slumber, you're under. Audio mechanic legends, the answer, no questions. No statements or minds for containment and cans for concentratement. It's long overdue, time to wake up from your mental enslavement. And dog bounty hunters on wires. Watch out for the agents and paid off spies, never revealing the truth and concealing the lies. On surveillance blocks like Parry blocks, I'm diverting those eyes. I love nature, told don't look to the skies. Look down but I look up and see flying pies. That's just a slice of distortions, the cloud third eyes. Won't be bumping into dead ends on this maze called life. More with more pride than a bunch of lions. Inner ear plugs in when colonists bless sirens. I met some giants, we're the giants. Before New York in '88, Fleming and Park was my New York. In Mr. John Science class found out worms in pork. Around 92 is when I gave up the pork. Didn't eat lunch that day, the pepperoni slice had me sick to my stomach. Liquid would have to suffice. It wasn't a cap gun, first time I heard shots and saw sparks. 95 beat up by Undies, all day followed by Knox. In a blue Toyota, I'm sure it was a Corolla. That day is when I gave up Sega Genesis controllers. Started to grow my hair, gave up the fade. I didn't kill the Artie sisters, I'm not Adrian Kincaid. Even though in college that became a nickname, I wasn't going to use some demon to gain quick fame. Turning a hermit, after I met Hench I had to unlearn it and relearn everything I lost during the Holocaust. In '99 started my locks and beard, Pretty Boy died. Then Kincaid was convicted of murder, I almost cried. Gave up the box link, Jesus diamond halo pendant the ring. Opened my third eye, became a wise king. Life has a way of teaching if you're willing to see. Everything you think is might not appear to be. Life has a way of teaching if you're willing to see. Everything you think is might not appear to be. So just be and be receptive to what life brings. All struggles are meant to raise queens and wise kings. Life has a way of teaching if you're willing to see. Everything you think is might not appear to be. So just be and be receptive to what life brings. All struggles are meant to raise queens and wise kings. There's a lot more. That was some audio mechanics. Audio mechanics. WillofAllah.com. Go check. And peace to One Oak, the fam. Just got the plug going on right now. We got the brother Lonry got his documentaries working on. I Am Not Black. So if you want to get the t-shirts, $15 t-shirts, $25 long sleeves, $40 hoodies, children's size tees, 10 notes. I Am Not Black 2018 at gmail.com. I Am Not Black 2018 at gmail.com. I Am Not Black 2018 at gmail.com. Put in your order and get your exclusive I Am Not Black documentary. It's in the works. So, you know, again, you're not just getting nothing. We're about raising the people. That's what it's about. Getting our people to not be black and Negro and colored and all these fictions. So, I see that people still think it's a joke that people with feathers and turbans sold out their stuff. Went totally against the prophet, and now they're parading around today like they're with the prophet. And people are buying that BS from them. Don't even know what went down. So we're going to put some things on the record today, on top of deal with some questions, because we had some of those as well. You have to know that a lot of people ran a fraud with what Noble Drew Ali brought you. Willingly, openly, lovingly ran a fraud against you. Ran a fraud against your birthright. And you're just good with it. It's alright. Remember, the reason why our people are suffering is because they don't know that they're Moors. The reason why Moors are suffering because Moors been sold you out to this corporation posing as government, which is why they keep moving towards the corporation posing as government as somebody to give them something, whether it's USAR saying that Secretary of State recognized them, so we should recognize them. Secretary of State, dissolved, bankrupt, and insolvent. Secretary of State recognize you, so we as Moors should be behind you. Right. You, Mr. C. Kirkman Bay Supreme Grand Advisor, which means that he's Moorish American. In the Circuit Court of Cook County, the Moorish Science Temple of America, a corporation, versus John Givens L. and Jesse Shelba L. There's a new name for you to go check. Go look up the Shelby L's and see what you find. Motion to strike amended complaint. Now comes J. Givens L., one of the defendants herein, by his attorney, Cleveland L. Longmire, and moves the court to strike the amendment complaint for the following reasons. 1. The complaint does not allege sufficient facts to give a court of equity jurisdiction. 2. That in paragraph 6 of the amended complaint, plaintiff admits that Noble Drew Ali was the founder and the sole head of the organization, but fails to allege facts to show that the property rights of Noble Drew Ali devolved upon plaintiff and its de facto officers. 3. That in paragraph 18, plaintiff alleges, or paragraph 8, plaintiff alleges that certain officers were created after the death of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, but failed to set up facts to show that the meeting at which these officers were created was duly called by someone invested with such authority, or that proper notices were given for that purpose. 4. That amended complaint alleges in paragraph number 11 that J. Givens L., a former member of said organization, announced himself as the reincarnated prophet for financial gain, but fails completely to allege any violation of property rights that would justify the extraordinary remedy of an injunction. The holy and divine words are from the Prophet Noble Drew Ali and the founder of the Morris Science Temple of America. Home Office, blah, 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 blah. That reference it had to the decree and injunction, and made a part thereof as much as so if fully set out herein. And so your petitioner says that the said J. Shelby, his agents and servants, have violated the decree and injunction of this honorable court, and to represent the same, they have wholly neglected and refused all of which matters and things this plaintiff is ready to aver, maintain and prove at such time and in such manner as said court may direct and appoint. Wherefore, your petitioner respectfully prays that an order and rule may be entered by this honorable court against each of the foresaid respondents, J. Shelby L., his agents and servants, commanding them and each of them to be and appear in this court at the time to be designated in said order and rule, then and there to show cause, if any, they or either of them can, why, or either of them should not be adjudged guilty of contempt or contempts of this court, and on account of these matters, signed C. Kirkman Bay. Now, didn't Noble Drew Ali say, don't take your brothers to the European court? Didn't Noble Drew Ali say, don't call European on your brother? That's why you got muftis. What are you calling European on your brother when you got muftis? Oh, yes, that's right, because they broke off from what Noble Drew Ali started. Same way that John Givens L. broke off, because remember right here, he said himself he was a former member of the said organization. How is he former member, but he's calling himself Prophet Noble Drew Ali, reincarnated? And he's former? Hold on a second. So, all these people were with Noble Drew Ali, right? Noble Drew Ali dies, and then these two Moors, one of them claiming that he's Noble Drew Ali come again, but he's saying he's former of the people who are bringing him to court, and those people said that Noble Drew Ali made them Supreme Grand Advisor and all that stuff when that didn't happen. And these are the two people that are going back and forth in court or whatever. And then now today, you have them talking about, yes, unity amongst all the bodies of whatever. They were just in court. This is no different than polite debating whoever, and then now they're friends. And then when the funds get low, they do the versus again, and then they get some finance, and then, then they do the family gathering, come back together, let's be friends again, and they keep playing their little game, just like these people with Moore Science Temple been playing this game on Moors. Because remember, the Moors started it all. Remember, Moors were the first slave masters. If Moors think that Europeans the devil, well, whoever created him is a bigger devil than the European. And we were the ones that created European. So how much a devil are we? So we're the first devil. We started it all. Everything comes back to us. And everything's going to finish with us. Don't be too open to being friends with traitors, because Allah guides this. And trust me, I've seen people get judgment for being dirty Moors and chilling with dirty Moors and making dirty Moors their friends. Judgment does catch those people. Keep playing that you want to be friends with these traitors. How's this Moor taking another Moor to court, and then the other Moor claiming that he's Noble Drew Ali? Other Moors saying that this is incorporated, and then they're so incorporated they put ink after Moor Science Temple. That's how incorporated they are. Noble Drew Ali didn't do that stuff. You go check all the stuff that Noble Drew Ali wrote where he said Moor Science Temple. You find me where it says ink there. Just one reference. That Noble Drew Ali referenced Moor Science Temple of America, and after Moor Science Temple of America it says INC dot. Nothing? I have the Quran right here. Just tell me the page and stuff like that and we'll go check. You got the Moorish literature right here. Just say the number. We'll go check. Noble Drew Ali said that there's one prophet and one temple. If Noble Drew Ali said there's one temple, then how come all these people are claiming that they're the number one temple? How are there 5 number 1 temples when Drew Ali said there's only one? Clearly, all those 5 people are running a fraud. Because not one of them said, we're going to take one off of our stuff and stop playing this BS. Not one of them. Everybody trying to prove they're the number one. Why? Because all of them are the same traitors that are now friends. Remember the black guy debate stuff. Keep in mind, just go back in your mind to the black guy debate stuff. When they had all these debates going on. Everybody debating somebody. And then, all of a sudden, everybody's friends. And there's no debating anymore. Just like that, everybody's friends. How is everybody friends? When that guy knows that guy took that guy for $5 grand. But everybody's friends, all of a sudden, clearly everybody was in on taking that guy's $5 grand. Recognize that all the traders are lining up together. All the traders are linking up. All the dirty Moors. Just listen to, remember, these people have, make sure you call into their thing and all that stuff, and then people call in. Right? Who was running that game? Remember? Brother Rami Salamel told y'all when Polite went to Cali, Rami Salamel was there early. And he saw who Polite came in with. So 2 hours later, question and answer period, the people who Polite came with, that Rami Salamel seen come with him, putting their hand up. And asking a question like they really have a question. What do you think certain people, these guys hang up on when they call in? Oh, we don't got time for that right now, we'll call you back. Somebody else is calling in. Beep, beep, click you off, put you on mute or whatever. Why do you think they do that for? You think they do that because they really have another call? No. They do that because only their crew could call in. Only their boy could call in and make a comment. Only their boy could call in and make a comment. Only their fellow trader. As soon as the active Moor call in, you know what I mean, they don't want to deal with anything active Moors are saying. Zero. They don't want to deal with what active Moors are saying. Because when you start dealing with active Moors, you start dealing with the facts. You're not dealing with illusion with active Moors. You're not dealing with make you think we're somebody because we got recognized by some city. When the reality is, you guys been recognized ever since the inception of your temple by the city. That's not some new stuff. You're just leeching off the people before you. You're nobody. The people before you set the standard. You're just in the seat now. Think it's, yeah, we did some work to be where we're at. No, you inherited it. Ain't no different than all these Europeans who benefited off subjugation of the Moors. And we have nothing to do with slavery. Yeah, no, you might not have nothing. You weren't there, but you're benefiting right now. What do you mean? You're European. This is Morocco. You're a foreigner. Period. Inheritance. Because Moor Science Temple was a club after Noble Drew Ali died. The following letter is a letter sent from Brother Emily L., Supreme Grand Sheikh of the MSTA, to Brother C. Crumby Bay of Indianapolis, Indiana, 1931. 1931. Dear bro, Islam, I am agreeably surprised as well as glad to hear from you at this time. I have often wondered what had happened to you. Now speaking of Dove L, you didn't give much understanding as to what this party was doing or where he was operating or who gave him his authority. If he acts on the lines of Islam, so find out what this brother is teaching, his right to do so, and who did he receive it from. Right, so we can tell you for ourselves, as far as Moor Science Temple of America, we received from Daweed Ali L. and Kenny Umar Bey. You can go ask them and they'll verify that yes, we're doing exactly what Noble Drew Ali said we're supposed to do. Because they put us on to what we're supposed to do, which is why we're doing what we're supposed to do. As Moor Science Temple, uplift fallen humanity. Uplift fallen humanity. Take your place amongst the affairs of men. We already told you that we know Moors that aren't from North America. And when they engage Moors, they are ecstatic that we know that we're Moors. And we know we're not black. And we know that they're not black and that they're Moors. Unity. Immediately. The people who we receive from, they put us on that we have to be outside of the temple. Right? The Moors that put us on, they weren't these Moors, bring your temple, bring your fez to the temple in a bag, and when you get inside, then you put on your fez. And then when you leave the temple, you put your fez in your bag, and then you go home without your fez on. That's not the Moors. They never brought us up like that. Fez is up every day, all day, wherever you're doing, whatever, anything Moorish, fez is up. That's just what it was. No question. Oh, color, whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whatever color. Oh yeah, you got the red on? Alright, then you got the red on. You got the orange on? Or then you got the orange. Oh, you got with the different color tassel? Oh, that's yeah, I like that. I like that one. Never seen a green tassel before. The people who brought us up told us that the Queen doesn't have any jurisdiction there. Just like U.S. doesn't have any jurisdiction here. So you, as Aboriginal and Indigenous people, because you're from Trinidad, right? Yeah. If you're from Trinidad, then you know about Arawaks and all that stuff, and Caribs and, you know, Aboriginal people who look like us. All right. So you are the one with the superior claim. Because just like Canada, Trinidad's part of America. And just like Trinidad, Canada's part of America. So what are you? You're Moorish American, Aboriginal and Indigenous. And gave us whatever we were supposed to get and told us, go uplift fallen humanity. That was it. Who did they receive it from? Now the whole trouble is this. When I was on my way around to visit the Prophet's temples in August 1929, now this is right after Noble Drew Ali died now. These people didn't even wait 3 months after Noble Drew Ali died before they start their infiltration and take over and try to get certain people out of power so they can have the power. Because Drew Ali said they were jealous of his fame and nobility. He told Moors this. Oh, but they didn't read the letters to be read every meeting, so you don't know jack about what Noble Drew Ali said. Because you've been listening to these clowns for the past 80 years. You ever listen to Noble Drew Ali? You never listen to Emilio? Oh. But you know something about Moorish movement, and we're supposed to listen to you people when you're talking about this is ink, and this is reincarnated, Noble Drew Ali, the 5, and all that type of stuff. (1929). Noble Drew Ali passed. Not even a month. Noble Drew Ali passed. These dirty Moors were at their job. Even the European slave master is going to give you a 3 months probation on the job before they fire you. You got a 3-month grace period to prove yourself worthy to have a job here. Even the European will give you 3 months. These dirty Moors, you didn't even get a month to mourn the loss of your prophet. You didn't even get a month to do that. These people were at work trying to undermine his thing. Trying to undermine his thing. Which in turn undermine you, because once they undermine him, they undermine you because you're the beneficiary of everything that he brought you. Not these people. This is why it's about studying. This is why it's about know thyself. Not know that guy. Know thyself. Not know thy Grand Sheik, know thy National Grand Sheik, know thy governor. Know thyself. Not even know thy prophet. Know thyself. Sitting in the Quran, yelling at you, big bold letters and all that. Know thyself. What way you do that is if you study. You're not knowing if you're not studying. Plain and simple. In August 1929, Kurtman Bey was made Supreme Grand Advisor by a group of members secretly, and it was kept secret, unbeknown to me, what was on, till we were ready to transact our regular business in the convention. Then they sprang this trick of making Kurtman head of the organization, which is in direct violation of the Prophet's laws and the Holy Quran, according to chapter 10, verse 22. We, as heads of the Prophet's temples, fell asleep at that point, by being confused over of the passing our prophet, which they knew you would not be expecting the surprise. And that, so they thought, was the time for them to put him over. So they knew, remember, these people are adepts, so they knew that at the death of Noble Drew Ali, these people are going to be so caught up in Noble Drew Ali died that they're not even going to see these dirty Moors come and pull their stuff right from under them. This is how we have nothing as Moors right now. Forget everybody else, like you said yesterday. Talk to Moors. How come Moors don't have nothing? Because of these traders that are still around today, parading in your face with your stuff that they jacked, and you know, hey, they got Benzes and all that stuff. Go check all these grand sheiks, especially the Re-INC-arnateds and the Kirkman Bays and the whoever. Go see where they live and stuff like that. These mansions these people have. How they get that stuff? They work for that for their life or whatever? No. They've been living off people's birthright. Traders. Half the members, their conditions, BS. And the only reason I know, because, you know, I'm Grand Sheik and I don't have a mansion. And the people who are members of our stuff, they don't got mansions. We know what these people did. By being confused over the passing of the prophet, put him over. But I had stated in the outset, in advance of any official work, that in view of the passing of the prophet and the much confusion that was very rampant at that time, we wouldn't be able to do anything effective except choose a grand treasurer and a board of trustees, which the prophet said himself we should have. Anything else, I declared, would be unofficial till the next regular meeting of the Supreme Grand Council. He, Kirkman Bey, was made advisor anyway, but I knew I had been given the power by the prophet in the first article of the Constitution to change anything that went wrong by the Holy Quran and the Constitution, which we did in the last convention, but he didn't think so and decided against him. Yet he is still acting against the will of the Holy Prophet Drew Ali. So keep in mind that their trick that they tried to pull, they did that in the prophet's face as well, and it didn't go through. They tried when the prophet was alive to take over, and it didn't happen. And then they attempted again after he passed. And instead of taking over, all they did was cause confusion. Same people around today causing confusion, trying to have you think that this is not about you being an allodial thinker. They want you to be a feudal thinker. They want you to, in Rome, do as the Romans do, because you're under occupation by Rome. So anything Rome says, you have to go with what Rome says because they have jurisdiction. This is where they want you at with regard to your Moorish birthright. But can you expect he thinks he has perfect right to do what he is doing, because so many of the governors and grand sheiks fell after the passing of the prophet, and most of them are with him now and against the prophet. This is Supreme Grand Sheik now talking. This is not just a mere member venting. This is who Noble Drew Ali actually appointed. Not the people who fake appointed. Not the people who stole seats of power. Not the people who made up fake titles and said, yeah, now we run the Moorish movement. Not those people. The actual individual that Noble Drew Ali brought into the office and said, More, it's about to go down. So I have to give the reins to you. I know what these people are doing. I know exactly what they're doing. And the reason why I'm choosing you, is because you've always been loyal. I've been watching you. Come to your meetings on time, pay your dues. I mean, you do what you do, which is what I ordered. And you're doing exactly so. And then other people were mad because, you know, they thought, well, because they're popular, they should be the Supreme Grand Sheikh. Or because they have 5 temples, they should be the Supreme Grand Sheikh. Or because, you know, when they put in their report, they brought in $1 million, so they should be the Supreme Grand. No, that's not what this is about. Sheikhs are born, not made, according to Noble Drew Ali. And he knew that Miliel would carry out the orders. Which Miliel carried out the orders, which is why you don't hear about Miliel. And all you hear about is Kirkman Bey, Givenzel, all these fakers. And when you do hear about Miliel, now that's even from a work perspective. Because Moors who are with Miliel are still talking BS about RV Bey and Taj and all that stuff, saying that, that they're not really with the Prophet and all that. When it's all these late people who haven't been doing anything with this. The last Moor to do something with this was CMB on a grand scale. Right? They're going to tell you about Dingo L Brothers and they went to this place, they went to Morocco, all this BS. Forget them. The only individual that repped this was CMB. Everybody sold Noble Drew Ali out. Everybody sold him out. Everybody sold him out. Which is what you're seeing today. The sellout of the Moorish movement. The Great Schism is what Moorish Science Temple is today. That's what the Great Schism is. Why? Because everybody got caught. All the sellouts and all the agents that wanted to be part of the democracy, all the sellouts and all the agents who thought that, yeah, we're going to get in with the Europeans so we can get anything we want from this European. So forget the Prophet. Let's just side with the European, bring the Prophet down. Then we got the fame and nobility and we'll be... Sorry. Because Drew Ali told y'all, new Moors going to come, eyes wide open and all that stuff. They're going to get mad. I'll put it on the record. Already had the conversation with Richard R. Edwards L., the author of Mukarrabin Files. Already had the conversation with him. We don't put that out and don't talk about that stuff and all that. What do you mean? Why you write the book to not talk about it? What do you mean? What do you mean copyright? How you copyright Noble Drew Ali's stuff? How you copyright Miliel letters? How you copyright court documents? What are you talking about? What you mean? How you copyright an article from a newspaper? What you mean? Why is this a secret? Why is the Mukarrabin Files a secret to Moors? Because it exposes everybody by name. And you'll know why Noble Drew Ali said it's one prophet and one temple. It'll make complete sense why he said that and how that even made sense. Even though it's the prophet saying it, you have to wonder, like, well, you know, there's all these Moors. How is there going to be one temple? Like, how's everybody going to fit? We need temples everywhere. Because the temple's the nation. And there's one prophet of that nation. His name is Noble Drew Ali. No matter who came after him, the last prophet for the Moors was Noble Drew Ali. Remember, Moore told you that these Moors were against the prophet. Most, remember. So many of the governors and grand sheiks fell after the passing of the prophet. Fell what? Fell to their lower self. Because they're still grand sheiks, so they didn't fall from the position after the Prophet. What did they fall? They fell to their lower self. Because now they're getting talked in their ear by this more and this more. But hey, Kurtman Bey is really the successor of the end because we have the document that says that he's the Supreme Grand Advisor. And of course, there's no Noble Drew Ali to come around and knock these people's door anymore. So they could run their muck that they wanted to run. Little did they know, Noble Drew Ali already put certain things in place. Hey, new Moors are going to come with their eyes wide open. You keep playing around that you think you know what this is and what Moorish whatever is. Right? You keep thinking that. Noble Drew Ali laid it all down. Laid it all down. All down. Emilia L, Supreme Grand Sheikh, did his best because, he was limited. He didn't have, he knew how to follow orders, but came down to the get down, letters only go so far, especially when you have people who's going to come, knock your door and stuff like that, because you're sending letters to all these Moors exposing them as a fraud. Oh yeah, they'll check you. How you think they got in the seat? They killed the Prophet. You think they wouldn't do something to Miliel or whatever? You think they wouldn't? Let's go read the FBI papers. They even tell you these dudes ran up on Pearl Ali and everybody. They weren't joking about taking this over. These Moors even ran up on Pearl Ali for documents and stuff like that. Ran up on her. Like ran up on her. On the mother. Ran up on the mother. Same stuff that they're doing today, remember? Same stuff that they're doing today. History repeats itself. The actions. That's why Drew Ali said, words not deeds not words. Forget what's coming off your lips. It's your actions that's going to let me know. And like I said, when we came in, the Moors didn't hold back anything with us. We knew who was who, what was what lane we're supposed to stay in. Do not move from this lane. And at that time, it was Alim El Bey, Hakeem Bey, RV Bey Publications, Grand Sheikh Nature El Bey, and Taj Tariq Bey. Stay there. Right? Through our studying, we, found other people who were on the same frequency. But initially it was those five. Don't move from there. As far as Moors is concerned, Moorish information, Moorish science, Moorish history, Moorish whatever, those are the ones. Anybody else, you're on your own because we know they're not teaching what these people are teaching you. We know this. And then there's people who were down then who today are talking against that. When they were down with this back then, those same five, they were down with that. Now, they're talking about that don't work and all that. If you've been playing with your stuff, you keep thinking that this is about some cards and papers and all that. Keep thinking that. You'll keep getting played, keep getting lost in this thing. Because this is about you going back to the mindset of your foremothers and forefathers. That's what this is about. This is about having a correct mindset. This is not about you went to some building and they gave you a card, now you can go on a plane. If you think that's what this is, you are far behind. You are far behind. Again, they are fighting me, Emilia L, because I won't stand for Kirkman Bey to act as Supreme Grand Advisor of the organization. They are doing all they can against me on his account, virtually destroying, if possible, the movement through willful, malicious disobedience. You think that these people really care about your birthrights? These ones around today, all these traders that are saying that all our bodies are together. What do you mean there's no Moorish unity? Of course your bodies are together. All you guys helped kill the Prophet. Why wouldn't you guys be together? What do you mean? All you guys say licenses. All you guys say pay taxes. All you guys say do something so we can be connected to the U.S. corporation, because, you know, every government is a corporation. And Moorish Science Temple is a corporation, so we should be working with the corporation called the government of the United States of America. Really? That doesn't sound like self-autonomy to me. That doesn't sound like self-authority. That doesn't sound like self-determination. That doesn't sound like Universal Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People. It doesn't sound like that. That doesn't sound like the law of the Great Peace. That sounds like some treasonous, high treasonous traitors. That sounds like dirty wars to me. Not destroying, if possible, the temple. Not destroying, if possible, Emiliel. Not destroying, if possible, the name of Noble Drew Ali. Destroying, if possible, the Moorish movement through willful, malicious disobedience. Oh, he's not done. He's not done. Now, some of who are with him as against the Prophet, and I say against the Prophet because when they fail to recognize the Prophet, when they fail to recognize the man the Prophet appointed and give him your cooperation and support, you have virtually turned down the Prophet for someone else. When you fail to recognize the man that the Prophet appointed, you pretty much abandon the Prophet. For all you Kirkman Bey, Givens, L, whoever's out there that like to follow those guys, reincarnated prophets and whatever else, all those people, down with them. Remember, those aren't the people that the Prophet appointed, those reincarnated Supreme Grand Advisors and whoever. Noble Drew Ali didn't appoint them. Drew Ali didn't appoint them. Drew Ali appointed Emiliel. So how are they with those guys talking about they're with Noble Drew Ali when you don't even recognize who Noble? And then now today they're going to say they recognize because, you know, they realize that their hands in the jar, their hands are full, they're trying to get the jar out. Everybody's looking at them, but they don't want to drop the cookies. They want to walk around with a jar on their hand talking about, you know, let's just work on unity with everybody because, you know, we're all Moors and we're Moorish Science Temple of America, so let's work together. And they got the cookie jar on their hand. And everybody's like, yeah, sure, why not, you know. Like, you know, we need unity and all that stuff. So, yeah, you know, the sign here. And even though he can't sign, oh, they're still going to go ahead with it or whatever, you know, because nobody's recognizing that he has a cookie jar in his hand. And there are no cookies in the jar. But his hand's in there, stuck. And those I know of, according to their ways and actions and works. Here's all the names. Brother T.W. Olsey, Milwaukee. Brother F. Nelson Bay, Detroit. Brother C. Charles Bay, Cleveland. Sister M. Cliff Bay, Indianapolis. Sister Dove L., Chicago. These don't write me when I write them, because I won't accept Kirkman Bay as in the place of Drew Ali, and I never do. When the time is proving all true according to the divine plans, he said, children, there won't be but a few saved, because you are not going to do what I tell you. You want your way, and your way you are going to have. But your way leads downward, children, so you better do like I tell you. If you do like I tell you, there is a chance for you. If not, there is nothing for you but death. They govern their actions by majority, which is all right if the majority is right. On the other hand, if only the one is right, that one is the majority. That's Islam. But they want to run the Moorish Science Temple of America according to the principles of Christianity or politics. Didn't we have numerous amounts of people go on the record saying they went to a Moorish Science Temple and they felt like they were in church? Why did they feel like they were in church? Because the people who they were going to see at Moorish Science Temple of America were running the Moorish Science Temple of America according to the principles of Christianity. And then you have the other ones, because remember, this is after Noble Drew Ali passed. This is leading out of the Great Depression into the New Deal. Keep in mind, this is leading into the New Deal, which is why he's making the reference to the politics. Because with all those millions of dollars that the Moorish movement had, we don't need to be part of no U.S. at this point. It's over. But these people saw the manufacturing companies and the community centers and all the things that Noble Drew Ali had, the cookie factories, the fisheries, all the things that was prepared for the Moors. These people saw that and wanted that for themselves and lost everything. Why? Greed, jealousy. Greed and jealousy. Noble Drew Ali has chapters in the Quran about being humble. Why are you jealous? Oh, like what? Jealous about what? You're a beneficiary. How are you jealous when you're getting something? How are you so jealous that you're going to not let the Prophet Noble Drew Ali rest in peace? You want to be the reincarnated prophet. And everybody has to recognize that. Just because you said you're that. So we have to recognize that. No, we don't. That's not what, according to Noble Drew Ali's stuff, man. Ain't no reincarnated anybody coming after him. He's the last prophet according to him. What do you mean reincarnated? But this is the game these people have been playing with your stuff. And then you're sitting there listening to them talk BS about Cujo, and then, you know, yeah, they're right, because I talked to him on the phone one time, and oh my gosh, alright, we'll see. Just like all the rest of them, you're going to come running, groveling at my feet about, oh, you're sorry. Sorry I was talking bad about you, Cujo, because, you know, you were right this whole time. Those guys are bastards. I gave them whatever, and they took everything from me. And what I'll be there to tell you, I told you so. I told you so. But you don't want to hear what I'm saying. I told you. The line of Moors that we came out of, trust me, we have what it is. We know what's up. Trust me. We know what's up. That's why they're mad. That's why I'm making videos and stuff like that using these names to try to make you think that they're onto something that isn't more science. They're not teaching more science. The temple guys are. Well, according to Miliel, the temple guys, they're running more science temple on the principle of Christianity and politics, which is against what Noble Drew Ali brought, because Drew Ali wasn't about no politics. I don't care how much people were voting when Noble Drew Ali was around. That wasn't politics. That sounds like Art of War to me. That sounds like he was reading Sun Tzu. And he was putting pieces in place as a defense for Moors. Not for Moors to be, oh yeah, we got us somebody in the thing, so now, no, that individual now works for Moors. That's why he's in there. But you know how much work for Moors is that individual going to do if after Noble Drew Ali died, now that he's in office, he can't do anything because you have 500 more saying that they're Noble Drew Ali. You think Oscar the Priest is a dumbass that he's going to go side with Kirkman Bay or whoever? No. I'm going to just be in this seat and not have anything to do with it. Serve whatever BS term that he served. Do whatever he can, help some black guys or whatever, because the Moors want to play like they don't want to give honors to the Prophet. They want honors. You don't get no goddamn honors. You don't get honors. What do you get honors for? What have you done? Nothing but cause confusion. No honors. Traitors and sellouts running the Moorish Science Temple of America according to the principles of Christianity or politics. That's what they've been doing with your Moorish Science Temple of America. Remember the letter that Noble Drew Ali said, read every meeting, that they don't read, that tells you that this is your temple, your movement. So why are you, if this is yours, why are you letting these traitors convince you that they're bigger than Noble Drew Ali? Or some reincarnated guy is bigger than Noble Drew Ali? Or some supreme grand whoever is bigger than Noble Drew Ali, and you're giving them more honors than the Prophet? And you want honors? And that is, you may be ever so wrong, but if the majority is with you, you are right anyway. But so in Islam, nothing but right will do. Well, that is why they fight me, simply because I won't accept Kirkman Bay as head of the organization. If I would do that, I would be all right with them. But Drew Ali said to me on his sickbed before he passed, you do what I tell you. Never mind what they say. I have given you law, Quran, and Constitution, and I expect you to enforce my law and do what I say. Never mind what they say or do. They can do nothing but die. What's the penalty for treason? Why would Noble Drew Ali on his deathbed say everybody who's pretty much adept, because he's talking to Miliel, so he ain't talking about no members or whatever. He's talking about heads. He's talking about heads. Never mind what they say or do. Do what I say. They, those ones who aren't doing what Noble Drew Ali said, all they can do is die. That's not Kudro. Remember, that's Noble Drew Ali, according to Miliel. So don't let them convince you that Kudro's renegade and he's talking about killing Moors and all that stuff like that. And we're the real terrorists. That's why Moors are on the BIE list, because Kudro's talking about killing Moors and all that. Sorry. Good try though, but no cigar. You talk about you dirty Moors. Because if you're still around and you're dead, then you guys are zombies. if you're still around, if Noble Drew Ali put the order for you guys to die in 1929, and you're still around, because the Prophet says you're I mean, you know, if you could do nothing but die, then you're dead already. If Noble Drew Ali is saying it. If you can do nothing but die, you're already dead. So you have the law as laid down by him, Drew Ali, and you will be required to answer for yourself in that day and to choose now who you will follow, whether it be Kurtman Bey or Noble Drew Ali. Not Miliel. Not Kurtman Bey or Miliel. He's the one appointed in charge. He didn't even say himself. That's humility. That's why he was Supreme Grand Chief. Look how humble he is. He was the one that actually got the instructions from Noble Drew Ali. And he's not even saying that he's on some prophet level. He's still saying, it's all about the prophet. That has nothing to do with me. I'm just carrying out the orders that the man said to carry out. Which is what these guys are supposed to be doing too with me. How are they doing other stuff? When the same orders I got, the same orders that they got, that Emilio's in charge. And now you're in confusion about which temple should I be part of, and why is there so much because you've been following traders the whole time. You haven't been focusing on what Noble Drew Ali said. If you listen to what Noble Drew Ali said, you wouldn't be having problems right now. You've been listening to traders this whole time, convincing you that this is church and politics. This is Christianity. When Noble Drew Ali told the Moors, we do not wish to amalgamate. So why are they pretending that they're Moorish Christians? With Noble Drew Ali stuff. Why are they playing church with Noble Drew Ali stuff, which is Islam? And to choose now who you will follow, whether it be Kurtman Bey or Noble Drew Ali, the divine prophet of our God Allah. And I am going to expect you at the next convention that you may forego things amiss. Because to follow anyone now except Drew Ali, you have no part with him. I hope I have made myself clear to you, and if not, write for further information. So there's even more stuff. If that doesn't convince you that these Moors sold you out, don't worry, just write back. I'll give you more to show you how these people sold you out. Just write back. Don't worry. All you gotta do is write back if things aren't clear. And clearly things weren't clear. Because ain't nobody wrote back. Let's hit up our questions. So, let's see where we're at. Moorish, or I'm sorry. One sec. Let me get my water. Oral statements. Number 165. The Holy Prophet said, "Woe upon the one that scatters my flock." Woe unto the one that scatters the flock. Why? Because the Moors are supposed to be in unity. We all have one flag. We all have the same national headwear. We all say Islam. We all got nationality card. We all got Noble Jawadi's prophet. Well, not the Re-INC-arnated. They don't have Noble Jawadi's prophet. They got some other clown as a prophet. So there's no need for there to be separation amongst the Moors. Why is there separation? Because the dirties, the pigpen L's and Bays who don't want to be Alodio, the pigpen L's and Bays who want to continue running this like Christianity and politics. They're still around today. Just check the politics that they're running. And don't forget the Rasta school of thought. We already know that politics is politricks. So don't say politics. Say politricks. That way you could really digest what these people are doing with your birthright. Politricking you. And then you're going with it. Because, you know, like they don't want you to do, study. Because once you don't study, then you're open to be played. Open to be played. Islam Moors, oh, there it is. Islam Moor. Islam. What's going on with you?
Ain't nothing. I'm here, Moor. I'm here.
I just started going through the questions. I just started going through the questions on the email. I'm just gonna read this one, and then if you had something to address, we can put that out, because there's a few questions, and we could beat some of those up and save some other stuff, because we got, you know, 3 days in the week still, and we could go live anytime now, so, you know,
yeah.
we'll organize.
Yeah.
So this is Brother Ben Bay. Islam Moors. I just typed in Moroccan and American, and these flags popped up. The thing that bugged me out while preparing this was that I noticed that the N on the federal note connects to the O to the E through cursive as if it flows either way. The definitions of N are crazy too. Nationalist, North, name, etc. I just wanted to send this to someone who would get it. More to come. Peace. So just do your search, Moors. Moroccan, M-O-R-I-C-A-N, American, M-E-R-I-C-A-N, and see what's good. Islam to brother Brother Shank L. See, this is how you know Moors are studied, right? So this is why we love allodial-minded, studious Moors. So, Brother Anthony Shank L. Bay, we'll say whatever, just say before today. Before today, the email used to always say Anthony Shankle, S-H-A-N-K-L-E Bay, right? And now it's Shank L Bay. So you know that the spirit is vibrating through a Moor when they do these things, right? So this was the email that he sent. Peace and greetings, GS Cujo and all the Moors, awaken and otherwise. Here are some photos I'll call the hidden university as we grow to know thyself. 2 from a Turkish movie in transit on the plane, and the other at the airport in Istanbul. Fez is up. It's no secret, once your eyes are wide open. The ice cream shop is in the photo. Oh, and the first sign I noticed stepping off the plane is welcome to Eurasia. All thoughts welcome. Brother Shank L, don't worry. We're going to get with you. We're going to get with you, and we're going to do something with regard to your Istanbul trip. Alright? We're going to do something with regard to that. For sure. Just stay on me. But we're going to do something with that. Alright? Just sharing Turkish clips from my phone again. Just have not noticed so many fezzes before finding out about my birthright. This is a touching movie, but the name escapes me at present. When you see the fezzes, after you proclaim your nationality and you get your fez, yes, you don't stop seeing fezzes. You don't stop seeing things relative to Moors. Right? You don't stop seeing it. Okay? Now, this was directed for me, Brother Yusuf, but you could add on to these questions because it's kind of open. Oh, hold on. Let me get Supreme on the. Hold on more. So the question was, or is, how did I come into more science information? What has kept you motivated along your journey? And what are the pros of having a nationality? So the questions again is, how did you come into more science information? What has kept you motivated along your journey? And what are the pros of having a nationality? So, the first question, coming into more science, one of the first pieces to the puzzle was Dr. Malachi York, because he had one of his when he used to have the CDs, and he had this CD called Mask of God, and the CD called Mask of God was dealing with realizing self. So starting to realize self was tracing, which, you know, in the mindset of back then, tracing the family name of the father's side to see, you know, where it leads to or whatever. Didn't even go that far, but I was reading some Dr. York books, and he was making reference to these people, Moors in Europe, and it struck a chord with me, because all my life, one of the most asked questions that I receive from people is, how did you get that name? That's not a name like a Caribbean name. That's a name, that's a direct European name. How do you get that or whatever? You know? I ain't have no answers. We just say slave master's name, you know, the usual. So Dr. York's talking about this thing with the MC, you know what I mean, and MC related to the Moors and all this. And that was the first time that Moors was like a personal thing, you know what I mean? Because MC's in the name. I mean, if we got the name, then that means we must be Moors or tied to Moors or something. But it didn't even register. It was just something that, you know, subconscious mind picked up. That was probably about 96, 97, somewhere around there. All this time passed, go through all these different schools of thought or whatever. And in about 2004, 2005, these brothers out here did a lecture with Umar Shabazz about We Are the Washita. So, go to this lecture and he's talking about, you know what I mean, the Washita and how, you know, black people are the indigenous people, and, you know, blah, 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 going through, you know, the usual teachings as far as Moors, telling Negroes about Moors, you know. Right at that time, brother from out here that, you know what I mean, we were doing the conscious thing together, studying together or whatever like that, calls me up from New York and says that right now he's at the guy's table. The guy who we saw in the videos with all the videos. And, you know, how much funds you got or whatever like that to put on it, I'm going to come back with some stuff. So he came back. I think we gave Saner about 700 notes or something like that. And dude came back with spools upon spools upon spools, DVDs for days. So we're just going through the DVDs, you know what I mean? Bumping into everybody, you know, because we got a little bit of everything. Bumping into DVDs, and got to the Shaman Healers that's on YouTube with Ali Melbay, right? And Shaman Healers DVD, and he went in on the Shaman Healers, and we're like, oh my gosh, who is this guy? We need to freaking, so, you know, made the connection, bam, 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 found out about Aleem, brought Aleem here. We bring Aleem here 2006, and our mindset was, we're bringing him here on some metaphysics, right? We're not even thinking about Moors or nothing like that. Bring him here on some metaphysics, does metaphysics lecture, and then after the event, you know what I mean, we're just going back, you know, we're going back to the cars or whatever like that. And then we realized that he doesn't have like regular state plates from wherever he came from. He has some other type of plate or whatever. We're like, yo, what's that? What the hell is that? What's that about? You know what I mean? He's explaining this thing to us about, you know, Moors and us being indigenous or whatever. We're going back like, yo, is that the same thing with Umar Shabazz or whatever? He's like, yeah, and he's giving us the breakdown with Umar Shabazz and the Empress and all this stuff. We're like, yo, what the? So we're like, okay, at that point we're like, okay, you know what? You have to come back again. Right? So he's game. So we bring him back a second time. So he comes the second time now, and now he does the Moorish part now of the thing. So we get in the Moorish thing, and we're like, you know, I mean, this is fascinating because we never heard any of this before. You know what I mean? He went in for about 3 hours just on Moorish history, you know, tying Canada to it with the Moors, whatever. We're like, okay, this is real. You know, I'm gonna connect with him, you know, deal with the whole Washita paperwork, get everything. We already put, you know, just go to the Right to Travel video. We'll show you the Washita paperwork and all that stuff. We used to deal with Washita like that, right? Then playing around on MySpace, and bumped into Arneel Bay and this idea of Moor Science Temple.
I mean, because the whole thing with Washita was dealing with this nation idea, you know what I mean? The Aboriginal indigenous perspective. So now comes into Moor Science Temple and you know, like we were talking about yesterday, going to Chicago and all that stuff or whatever, right? And you know, the thing that made us gravitate to it was because Arneel Bay said, instead of being virtual with what this is, right? Instead of trying to find out what Moor Science Temple of America is online, like, why don't you just come and like see what it is for real, you know what I mean? You're like, all right, whatever, you know, sure, why not? You know, I mean, remember, we don't know him from anybody or whatever, just some people online or whatever, right? Go, and like we were saying earlier, connected with these Moors who were, you know, plates up, right to travel up, go to court, beat these people up, no tickets, everything dismissed, whatever like that. Taj's mass teacher, RV Bay's mass teacher, Hakeem Bay, you know, Grand Sheep Nature. We let them know we brought Aleem for lectures. They're like, what? Like, we know Aleem or whatever. And, you know what I mean? And it just turned into one big happy family. And, you know, from that experience, going to Chicago and connecting with those Moors through Arneel Bay, who's talking BS about Kudrow right now, right? Through that trip, you know what I mean, solidified that ain't nobody budging me off of this. Because what I saw, what I experienced for myself, made me know that Noble Drew Ali's real. The Moorish Divine National Movement, Moorish Science Temple, Moorish Holy Temple of Science, all that stuff is real. This nationality and birthright thing is a real thing. And at all costs, we have to put as much energy into this as we put into all the black, African, and whatever else that we were doing before that we would die for. This is something really to die for now. Now we really know what we should be dying for. We were playing around before, dying for that stuff. Beating up Europeans and all that type of stuff, fighting Europeans or whatever, right? We realize, right? So that's how we came into the thing, into the info. And again, if it wasn't for certain individuals, it wouldn't even have went down like that. And to have those same individuals who were riding with us in the car with the plates and all that stuff, to say now that right to travel is BS and don't listen to Taj and all that, these people are sellouts. Which makes me even, you know, rep this even harder, because I know how much work we got to do to get this work out because of these agents out here. Islam Wars.
Peace, Moore.
Yeah, Moore.
Peace, Moore.
Yeah. So I don't know who wants to go first, but the questions, yeah. So the questions is, how do you come into Moor Science Info? What kept you motivated? And what are the pros of having a nationality? And we'll just deal with the first one, the first question first.
Go ahead, brother. You should be my guest. Islam Supreme, how are you? Islam War, blissful War, and you? I'm doing well. Islam, the question was, how did I come internationally? How did I come into birthright?
Into Moor Science. Well, yeah, you can say that. How do you come into birthrights, nationality, all the whole stuff?
The Thanksgiving event years ago. But I'm activities of the Negro Color Black. I just basically showed up to get something to eat. But my sister, who comes up north to come visit, she pulls me to the side, and she was telling me how she wanted to put a book together. How she was going to how it happened was, she told me, she said, I got to talk to you. And now when my sister talks to me, because she's the oldest, when she tells me she wants to talk to me, that's the only time I get nervous, is when she wants to talk to me. And then for the whole while, I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, what did I do wrong? But I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk to her. So I go upstairs, and I'm like, okay. She closes the door, and she was like, I was doing some research. I want to put a book together. And I didn't want to tell my children, she said, I don't want to tell my children that we were just slaves, and that's it. So she said, I'm doing some research, and come to find out, she said, we were doing magnificent things, but we weren't known as black people. We were Moors. And I was like, Moors, what's that? Because the thing with that is, as I grew up all my life, my grandmother told us that we were Cherokee Indians. So I always knew that I wasn't like African or black, because my grandmother always pushed, you from here, boy, you Cherokee Indian, you Cherokee. Like you not black, African, you from right here. And so I always knew that. But the concept, when my sister told me we was Moors, I didn't get that. So she was, she just said, look it up, and left me like that. The day went on, I went home, I looked up the word. I stayed up for 2 days. 2 days, no sleep. The whole, exorcist thing going on. I stayed in my son's room, crying, finding out all this information because people were lying and stuff like that. The whole thing, 2 days, no sleep, nonstop. For that, just because she said, look up the word. And then, I finally get some sleep, go down to the library, because the thing was, on the internet, it holds back a lot of information. It's always tying it to Muslim stuff. But when I wanted to look at it more as nationality, I'm like, because I already knew the concept of nationality, but I didn't know how it tied to me, like all the way tied to me. Like I knew, okay, I'm from here, but all right, I'm from here, but I see stuff on, as you're native, you get the quote unquote, you get to get stuff. So I was looking at it towards that, but the more side was showing me Noble Drew Ali. And when I started seeing who the prophet was, I still had more questions because nobody was telling me who Noble Drew Ali was. I never heard of this man, never. And growing up, and that's the other thing, growing up, I've always did research, like on our people and stuff like that, like, the civil rights stuff, and I always did papers on Martin Luther King. My mother can tell you that, like, I always did papers and stuff like that, so I always had this concept of our people was something, but I never wanted to accept the slave concept. I never wanted to accept that, because I just didn't, it didn't sit right with me. I never watched any slave movies. I never wanted to hear about slavery or nothing. So that was another thing that made me love about hearing more science too, because it was like, look up the definition of slave. How it doesn't apply to you. And I was like, okay, that's another thing that made me come into nationality. Like, all of that was like, okay, this is sitting right with my spirit. So that's another thing that made me keep going. So as I keep going, I'm doing more research, and then, I'm going to my family, asking them questions. I go to my grandmother. My grandmother's title, she was my great-grandmother, I guess. Her name is Zamoria. And then, I looked up the word Zamoria, it means the Moor. My grandmother's name is Zamoria, so I met the Moor, and that hit me hard. Because I love my grandmother, like, dearly, and, like, for her name to be Zamoria, the Moor, it bugged me out. And I always asked the question. She didn't know what I was talking about, nothing, but I just said, well, your name itself means the Moor, so you can't tell me nothing. So then I started doing more research, going to the library, getting those old dictionaries that RV Bay Publications tell you to get, because there's new ones, just still refer to you as to the Muslim side. But when I get those old dictionaries, and I've seen that more meant, you know, of a dark-skinned person, especially a Negro, like more meant that. Like in old dictionaries, I didn't have to look up black more. It said they put more itself. It said, you know, dark-skinned or especially a Negro or something, you know. So yeah, and especially like it was just my sister. My sister came up to me and just told me, yeah, like we're more just out of nowhere. Just came up, and I went home and did the research. Came in, started watching YouTube videos, and then I'm clicking and watching videos and stuff. Saw, you know, the Taj, you know, once you see the Taj, right to travel, you're hooked. It's over. Once you start seeing all the Taj videos, you're hooked. But you know, I was still trying to find, you know, basically a channel I can just keep watching all the time. And then I clicked on this channel called Canaanland Mortars. And obviously the green shit pops up. At this time, I'm just watching it, and I hear, "You want to be dumb nigger?" And I was like, okay, this is where I want to be at right here. Like, this is where I want to be at right here. Because this is where I know it's going to be some structure in here, you know what I mean? So right there, I had the right tools. But as I'm listening to Taj and the Grand Sheik, I always heard, you know, nationality is free. But every time I go do some research or something like that, how to correct myself, everybody was charging. But I never had a regular sit-down breakdown, like a clear breakdown until I ran into the RBA publication. And it was like, you have to read everything. But as I'm going through RBA publications, I'm listening to the Grand Sheik. In his show, I didn't even have to ask him questions. He was just doing everything for me as I was watching him and reading RBA publications, like getting your correct your name in judicial proclamation, like writing that over and over and over again. He was having classes about that, how you're supposed to read that, read it again, write it, rewrite it. I wrote that judicial proclamation and name correction papers tons of times. I just rewrote it, just kept rewriting it before I even touched it in. So, because I was just following the directions, you know. But yeah, that's how basically I came into it. Just my sister, you know, the matriarch side.
Islam.
And that's very beautiful. I guess it takes me back to being here in the District of Columbia territory, Anacostia territory, which it really is. And it takes me back to, I guess, around in the 90s, 97, 98. I'm going to admit, I was into the Wabian Moors. I was in the Wabian. I was in Newbie Canoop. And I was getting the letters from Dr. York. And the whole time, I only heard him mention Prophet Noble Ali one time, and that was in a book. And I got one of the scrolls at that time. We was going through the scrolls and was getting the pamphlets and the scrolls. And I heard him mention the Prophet. Pardon me. I heard him mention the Prophet one time in there. So I didn't really pay no mind to it. I just thought we were, these extraterrestrial beings coming from the planet Risk in the 19th universe, and all that good. And it wasn't until I moved to Georgia. In 2005, 2006. And, the internet can be a beautiful thing and it can be a detrimental thing. So I'm up on the internet and I see this guy in the red fez. And I knew about the fez because, the Wabian Moors, they always walk around and they had the fez on, but it was marked up. They had jewels on it or the ankh on it and stuff like that. But you'll see this brother with this red fez, and it was clean. It didn't have no jewels or no markings or nothing on it. So I'm like, okay, who is this dude? And he's talking proper. I mean, he's talking real proper too, like with perfect etiquette. I'm like, well, who is this guy? And he's talking about, the first video I saw of him was driver's license fraud. And it's very beautiful because it's amazing how that's the one where I can That's all of us, boy. That's the one right there. That's what jump started off. Once his hook, line, and sinker, he threw the hook out for me more, and I bit. You know what I'm saying? I bit because, I wasn't, really on that traveling thing. I always felt like, damn, what is a license? Why would you need a license? Like, what is that? What does that pertain to? And, when I clicked on that, I clicked on another one. And they clicked on another one. They clicked on another one. Then my mate at the time, she was like, well, damn, who is this dude? Your father? Your mom's father or something? You keep this or something? I'm like, he could be my mom's father or my brother. I know he is the man right now because he was dropping some real good jewels, and it made me want to go. And he always say, don't sit there and leave me, prove me wrong. I want you to prove me wrong. So it just got me to doing more investigation, and ever since that video, I was like, wow, we are Moors, because at that time I was thinking, yeah, we are NBCs, we Negro, black and colored, I'm black and I'm proud and all that. I was down with that, I was go hard black man, and we said then, it was like, no, you're not black, you're not Negro colored. He just kept talking about Prophet Drew Ali. He kept saying, Noble Drew Ali, Noble Drew Ali, Noble Drew Ali. He just pounded that name, and I was like, well, who is this Noble Drew Ali? So that made me go and wonder and study more and go to the Prophet and talk to the Prophet myself, to his literature, and read his literature and find out who he was. And ever since then, like I say, it took me back with the Nubian Moors, and but once I got down to Georgia, I really looked, and I saw Brother Taj Tariq Bey, and like I say, that's the kicker right there, because without that Brother Taj Tariq Bey, I'm gonna tell you, I'll probably still be a nigger, black man, or colored person right now, and that's just being truthful of the matter, and that's where I got my nationality and birthright, because he was like, this is yours. This is not mine. I'm not coming to let you borrow it or let you use it. This is yours already. I'm just coming to give it back to you because you dropped it, young man. You walking, you hit your head. Time to get up. You dropped it. Here you go. And he was just giving it back to me. And after running into him, I did see Canaanland Moors, and I seen a YouTube and how I started with that. I was in it. I was really into it. I knew it was Moors, but I really didn't have my fans and all that. But I looked at the Canaanland Moors, and I'm like, well, who is this guy, right? Who is this Rasta Samian guy? I mean, who is this? And then I really didn't know, all too much like that, because I was listening to Abracadabra. I'm not gonna call him the Lord. Well, maybe he's a Lord, a monkey. Lord Abracadabra. Lord Abracadabra, watch the magic fix, he's a trickster. Lord Abra, going at Cujo like he's a Canadian, he's not even American. We're the true Moors. He's a true Moors. We're the true Moors. He's not American. He's a Canadian. And I'm like, well, wow. Well, let me get with Lord. Let me get with Lord Abracadabra. And I confronted, Cujo. I was like, what's going on? And I went to him and talked to him, and I'm glad I did that, because Cujo, I love you more.
There's a lot more.
You just don't know more. I love you more. You were a big bro, man. And like I said, if it wasn't for you setting the record straight and putting me on that magic tricks that the trickster does, I'll probably still be a Negro colored, half Moorish American at it. But yeah, the brother showed me the light, and I already said then, I've been walking through the door and trying to bring my other people with me, But that's how I came into my nationality and birthright. First started with Taj, and went through Canaanland Moors with my sheik Cujo, and I've been chilling with the Prophet ever since. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali, that is.
Yeah, you better be specific who you're talking about. You start saying your prayers to the Prophet, and demons coming out on you. You know what happened.
You have to be clear about that. Right. And it's very sickening, man. Like I say, I really didn't know. I didn't know much about it. You know what I'm saying? You have to do your own investigating. Man knows not by being told. You have to study. You have to study. It's imperative, not just to you, but to your family. My babies know who they are.
No,
My
what?
4 and 6-year-old baby.
No, one of the other questions too was because for me, this is what you said is the answer to this question. I just want to know if it's the same for you, Morris. But what has kept you motivated along your journey? The fact that we could go research about Mars and you're bound to find something. Like no matter the subject matter, no matter what. Once you go do your research, you are going to bump into yourself, and for me, that's what keeps me going. Knowing that, okay, yeah, as much as people say this don't work and blah 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 or whatever, I know that I studied this, I tried this, it works, so I'm riding with this. Forget what anybody says.
Yeah, indeed, Warren. Like I say, at the end of our show on Partner Interjection, I say, Morris, go out there. Don't believe me. Go check it out.
Right.
And you'll be amazed at the jewels you'll find on your treasure hunt. It's a treasure hunt, and each time I go in my research, I fill my treasure chest up with another jewel, baby.
Sure.
I feel like one of the pirates of the Caribbean, you know?
For real. For real.
Well, that keep motivated those that, if it don't work for you, I'm going to take the words like my brother Kuzma will say. You get a dumbass. You know, if it don't work because you're just trying to rush to do something, don't rush. Take your time and study it before you jump out there.
Straight. Same for you, Yusuf? As far as the motivation?
All them Jews, all them investigations, man, your brothers from the East, going in there, all those examples that you had, you going from walking to the store to getting watched when you walk into there to the same store, but because you put your bets on, they act like they don't even know it was you, and now they want you to do commercials for them.
Yeah.
Commercials, that was crazy. I got a commercial with one of those stores over here. Just because I had my friends on, I go in there, get groceries for him. Sometimes, it's crazy. All the Jews you get this back and your friends out. Even the time was the first time I got kidnapped. And the only reason why he kidnapped me is he said it. Because I beat him up with the law. He said, the highwayman goes, I'm just tired of you, Morris. You guys are everywhere now. I'm just taking you to jail. I said, yeah. You kidnapped somebody. I know you're mad.
So you got him. You had him mad like a dirty mark.
Exactly. Just tired of you, Morris. I'm just taking you to jail. I said, yeah. I know. That's a beautiful thing in itself, though, more because you have to still look how you came out of that. You know what I'm saying? You came out of that even better, more.
Straight up.
Well, yeah, it wasn't all just because when I signed to get out, no nothing, no show up to court, no warrants, no none of that. Just because I signed to get out, there wasn't no nothing. Never heard, no nothing. I got a story to back that too. I went into the tribunal, or what they call in the court, and it was for a little traffic or whatever, and I came there fast up, and I walked through the galley, and the bailiff came up there, and I was standing trying to find a place to sit, and the bailiff came up and was like, is there any reason why you have that hat on? I said, no, it's not a hat, it's my headdress, it's a fez. So it was a sister that was sitting next, down right beside me, and she's like, oh, he's a Moorish American. So I'm like, I didn't know the sister that. She didn't know me. She just looked at me and said, oh, he's a Moorish American. And then the bailiff was like, oh, okay, well, you go ahead and take a seat wherever you want. And then the minister, oh yeah, he said, take a seat wherever you want. I said, I'm good right here. I'll stand. So the administrator came in, and she was like, can you come back later on today? I I said, no, because that'd be a kidnapping because you're holding me against my will because I don't really want to be here. And I do attend in here. She was like, please leave the court. Please leave the court. I said, no, not until this case is dismissed and I am dismissing this case. This case right here is dismissed. Good day. Walked out. Nobody called me. I haven't heard nothing from District of Columbia Superior Court for Traffic since. Islam.
Wow.
Islam, Mark.
Wow. Islam.
They know who we are.
Well, they definitely know who we are.
Yeah.
They definitely know who we are.
Balance out.
Right.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now there was one last question. Whatever happened to Canada? Now this is Brother Hootie. Whatever happened to the Canada that was mentioned in Articles of Confederation? Where did they go? When the Articles of Confederation came into effect, was Canada a state or USAR or Britain? Well, if we go by the Articles of Confederation, during that time, you would find, if you go on to, what's that treaties website again?
Yeah.
Amazon, whatever.
Oh.
There's some treaties website. But if you do research on letters to the inhabitants of Canada, you would find out that people were making public notice letters or flyers or whatever and distributing them throughout Canada so Canada could come and join the Union. Right? The Canada that existed during the time of, when you talk about Articles of Confederation and things like that, it was just a jurisdiction that they knew people were there, and it was north of the north, right? You had, there was claims of Aboriginal and Indigenous people here. There was French here. There was British here. There was different people here in this jurisdiction called Canada, but don't forget that was just a jurisdiction, a geographical location. It had nothing to do with a government at that time. There's no mention of that. So this is why they were talking to the inhabitants of Canada. This is why they were addressing the inhabitants. So our position, knowing that Articles of Confederation comes before 1867, which they're saying Canada's founded, which is why we impress on Moors out here to keep bringing that up. When you talk to these people that claim Canada and they start talking about 1867. Because clearly they're not Canada if there was a Canada that was mentioned in the Articles of Confederation. But the Canada mentioned in the Articles of Confederation had nothing to do with a government or a queen or British doing something or whatever. Kananta was the name of this jurisdiction that they call Canada in their translation. But the Articles of Confederation should say Kananta, inhabitants of Kananta. Their terminology or their pronunciation is Canada. That's how they say it, right? So it wasn't a state, or it wasn't part of United States Republic or anything like that. It was a geographical location where they knew there were people up there or up here, right? Yeah, more. Go ahead.
You say Kanata? That's what you say?
Yeah. Kanata.
K-A-N-A-T-A.
K-A-N-A-T-A.
Okay, good deal.
Kanata. and then and by the time you get to 1867, you have French, British, and them doing their little cheating over here, making their little deals. Certain people claiming Quebec and all that stuff, and then they want to be free from quote-unquote Canada. They want to have their own jurisdiction when y'all, you have your own jurisdiction. This isn't France. Because the jurisdiction of quote-unquote Quebec is Aboriginal indigenous land too. They only made a claim that they're so-called French and that's a sovereign jurisdiction separate from all the rest of Canada. But everybody that's making that claim is really foreigners here. Just like the people who said Articles of Confederation are foreigners here. And really that's what we have to continue to remember, that, you know, anything that the foreigners set up, it was set up based on us already having something here. When we look at across the Atlantic, right? Anything that the Europeans set up is because there was people there before and they just set up on top of what's there already. And then people's mind says, oh, it's theirs because they are the government, or they have the castle, or they have the whatever, when that's not what's going on. The structure of the castle lets you know that it's Renaissance, so it has nothing to do with those people who are in it. Right? The names of the so-called provinces in Canada let you know that Aboriginal indigenous people ruled here. Right? Manitoba is indigenous. Alberta is indigenous. Ottawa, Mississauga, all these are indigenous words that became cities of these so-called corporate provinces. Which is why we talk about them using the abbreviation and never spelling out the whole province. Right? So nothing happened to the Canada that was mentioned in the Articles of Confederation. They just called it Canada when it was really Kanata. And there was no Europeans running any government here before 1867. It was all Aboriginal indigenous people that were running anything around here. Right? From whatever different tribes up to tribal nations. Where you have, you know, Algonquin, Iroquois, etc., which confederations of different tribes coming together and saying that we're an even bigger jurisdiction. Right? So if that doesn't answer, you already know we're at class on Sundays, so you could get some more clarity, or resend an email. What I wanted to also do too is read one of the writings of Noble Drew Ali that gives you a clear perspective of what this is about and what your obligation is. And this is the last chapter in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the end of time and fulfilling of the prophecies. The last prophet in these days is Noble Drew Ali. First line. So if he's last, can somebody reincarnate after him? If he's saying that he's the last prophet in these days, can somebody come after him and tell you that their Noble Drew Ali come again?
No.
If you think they can, you have mental problems that you should look at correcting as soon as possible. The last prophet in these days is Noble Drew Ali, who was prepared divinely in due time by Allah to redeem men from their sinful ways and to warn them of the great wrath which is sure to come upon the earth. John the Baptist was the forerunner of Isa in those days, to warn and stir up the nation, and prepare them to receive the divine creed which was to be taught by Isa. In these modern days there came a forerunner, who was divinely prepared by the great God Allah, and his name is Marcus Garvey, who did teach and warn the nations of vile earth to prepare to meet the coming prophet, who was to bring the true and divine creed of Islam, and his name is Noble Jew Ali, who was prepared and sent to this earth by Allah to teach the old-time religion and the everlasting gospel to the sons of men, that every nation shall and must worship under their own vine and fig tree. Worship under your own vine and fig tree, and return to their own and be one with their Father God Allah. So if you're supposed to worship under your own vine and fig tree, why are you going under U.S.A vine and fig trees? Why are you going under U.S.A.R vine and fig trees? Like why if your own vine and fig tree, Noble Jew Ali brought you the tree, which is the cherry tree, the red flag with the 5-point green star. Right? You already have your tree. You already have your vine, which is your nationality, that ties you to your ancestral foremothers and forefathers and ties you to your vast estate. So he brought you your vine and your fig tree. How is it that somebody else is going to convince you that they have something else for you? Right? The Moorish Holy Temple of Science is a lawfully chartered and incorporated organization. Any subordinate temple that desires to receive a charter, the Prophet has them to issue to every state throughout the United States. Any subordinate temple that desires to receive a charter, the Prophet has them to issue. So if the Prophet has charters to issue, why is Moorish Science Temple of America telling you have to fill out an application to get a charter? Why is Moorish Science Temple of America trying to tell you that you have to hop, skip, jump, you know what I mean, over the flaming pole in order to get your charter? When the Prophet said he has them to issue to every state. If they did what they were supposed to do and issue these charters to every state, maybe there will be a temple everywhere like they're supposed to be. So nobody can say, well, Kudro, you know, I know what you're saying, but I feel like I'm the only one here because there's nobody here and there's no temples here, and I don't know how I'm supposed to get this work done because it's only me here. Well, now you know why. It's just you. Because these sellouts and these traders and these infiltrators and whatever else stopped doing what Noble Jew Ali told them to do through Miliel. Because they wanted to follow their guy. And remember, Miliel told you that these people were against the movement. Right? They're against the movement. Not against the movement, the Moorish, divine, and national movement, against the activity, against the movement. They wanted this to be passive. Their job was to have you religious, sitting and praying in Moorish Science Temple of America, claiming that that's Moorish Science Temple of America. That's not Moorish Science Temple of America, that's church, with a sign that says Moorish Science Temple of America. Those aren't grand sheiks up there. Those are pastors, preachers, with fezzes on, with sashes on, right, perpetrating a fraud. That the world may hear and know the truth, that among the descendants of Africa there is still much wisdom to be learned in these days, for the redemption of the sons of men under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We as a clean and pure nation, descended from, oh, hold on a second. So if we as a clean and pure nation, if we're a nation, Noble Jew Ali's time, how are people telling you today that you need to make your Moorish Science Temple of America corporation be a government so you can be a nation in 2018? When Juali been told you that you're a clean and pure nation. You've been a clean and pure nation. Like we said yesterday, you have a national flag. If you have a national flag, you're a nation. But you're not a nation. You're just this building, and you're gonna be a nation once you join this building. Okay. All right. We as a clean and pure nation, descended from the inhabitants of Africa, do not desire to amalgamate or marry into the families of the pale-skinned nations of Europe. Neither serve the gods of their religion, because our forefathers are the true and divine founders of the first religious creed for the redemption and salvation of mankind on earth. Therefore, we are returning the church and Christianity back to the European nations as it was prepared by their forefathers for their earthly salvation, while we, the Moorish Americans, are returning to Islam, which was founded by our forefathers for our earthly and divine salvation. The covenant of the great God Allah: honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be longer upon the earthland, which the Lord thy God Allah hath given thee. Come all ye Asiatics of America, and hear the truth about your nationality and your birthrights. You are not Negroes. Learn of your forefathers' ancient and divine creed, that you will learn to love instead of hate. We are trying to uplift fallen humanity. Come and link yourselves with the families of nations. We honor all the true and divine prophets. So by after that, it should be clear what it is that Noble Drew Ali came here to do and what the obligation was for yourself. And like we've been telling people, unlike certain people's been telling people, that this is about you going back to your ancient foremothers and forefathers' mindset. Because only when you have the mindset of your foremothers and forefathers will you be able to do the things that they did. Don't think you're going to do what they did with your mind that you got right now. It's not happening. It hasn't happened because we haven't, since Noble Drew Ali left the scene, had the mindset of our ancient foremothers and forefathers, which means that we are the founders. If we're the founders, then we're the ones that's going to do whatever's supposed to be done. It's not somebody we're going to go to and they're going to do it for us. If we're not going to do it, it's not getting done. Simple as that. Right? So don't forget, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, MHHS, eyes wide open. All right? 347-945-5899, call-in number, 347-945-5899. Call in early, get in the queue, and, you know, if you got questions or whatever, push one, whatever you got to do. Islam to all the Moors online, Islam to the Moors on the phone, Brother Supreme L, Brother Yusuf L, give thanks for being around. Give thanks for helping spread the word. And if you have any closing remarks, feel free to let it out now.
Islam. I'm trying to give thanks to the Grand Sheik and give thanks to Supreme. And real quick, I just want to give thanks to Canaanland Moors for today in the mail for my son. We received today the Noble Drew Ali Award.
Islam.
9L. And from the Grand Cujo L and the Mariel Bay. And so I just want to give thanks to y'all. And my mom likes to give thanks too for her stuff. And give thanks for the pocket watch too. It was all the gifts that you sent me, Green Sheet.
It's love, boy.
And with the seals and everything, and I didn't pay nothing, man. My son got the Noble Jubilee Award with the seal on it. I'm going crazy. I'm trying not to yell because I'm gonna have a a ceremony for my son tomorrow.
For real.
Little ritual thing for him while he received his award. So give thanks, man.
Well,
I appreciate that.
It's about them, yo. It's about them, and just like we hear, once these children find out about their nationality and birthrights, it's over. Once they find out, it's over, because they're gonna take this and do with it what we wish we could do with it. So Islam to little Yusuf. Islam.
Yeah, that's right. Islam, little Yusuf. Islam, boy. I'm gonna make it quick. Like I say, I love you, Moors. I love you, Moors, man. It's a beautiful time to be alive, Moors.
Islam.
And I'm gonna keep saying that all the time. It's a beautiful time to be alive, and I want to give a huge shout out and thanks and honors to Prophet Noble Ali and my brother Yusuf L. And without a doubt, my Cujo L. Brother, I really appreciate you. You just don't know, Cujo. You just don't know, brother.
Islam.
You're my brother, man. I don't know how to say it, but one day I'm gonna get up there in Canaanland. I'm coming there in Canaanland. I'm coming, bro.
We're here, boy. We're here.
I don't know where, but I'm coming.
We're here.
I'm coming, boy. I'm coming. But I want to give love and shout out to the chat. I want to give thanks for this platform here, because it's a beautiful platform. I don't care what nobody say. Well, you speak truth, and when I feel it. When you speak more, I hear the prophet. Don't get it twisted. I hear the prophet when you speak more. I just want to give a little thanks to you, brother, and I appreciate you more. I really do. I love you, and we'll get back up here again. Always Q&A and partner interjection, and that's how we do it. Yusuf, I love you, Yusuf. Hit me up later, more. Hit me up later, more. I love you, more.
There's a lot more. Love you too, bro. Peace to all the Moors. Peace to all the Moors. Don't forget. Don't forget the I Am Not Black documentary. Brother Lanray Bay, he's doing his promo for the documentary. If you want to acquire I Am Not Black clothing, t-shirts, long sleeves, hoodies, children's size t-shirts, I Am Not Black 2018 at gmail.com. I Am Not Black 2018 at gmail.com. And for all the people who are talking about Mukarabin files and all that stuff, Richard R. Edwards L. He got Facebook and all that. So don't let them play you talking about who's that and all that stuff. They know exactly who he is, and they got the stuff. Don't be fooled. So Islam, we'll just close out with our prayer and get ready for our this evening broadcast. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Islam. Islam, Moors, peace and love, and
people have no music that is in coordination with their spirits. Because of this, they are the kingdom of the universe.
Down with the blackness, down with the slackness, down for the cause if it would stop the whackness. They're down with Isabella and Ferdinand.